So normally when we buy electronic devices, we get it because of colors, features, who make it. But when this mom bought her daughter that Fitbit, I don't think she did that for none of that. Hell, let alone did she think that it was going to solve her child's unaliving. April was last seen alive July 24th, 2014. Nothing was special about this day. She did the same thing every day, walked her dog, and made it back home before the lights came on. Except for this day, she didn't make it back home. Her mom called her several times. And when she was not able to reach her, she called the police. The police came, they questioned, and as they was questioning the mom and trying to get information, a 911 tip came through. It was a man riding his bike along the trail that April normally travels. And he seen a dog, and the dog lured him to a body. Just so happened to be April's. She was not breathing, and she was badly beaten. Now, they are trying to find acquaintances and friends of April's. While they were getting that, they came across her boyfriend who said, yeah, April texted me. And she said OMFG. I think I almost got kidnapped. So now they're circling the area. And then they reached out to the community and they was like, yo, were you here on this day? We need answers. People came through and was like, they seen young April. And the man who looked pissed was following her and she looked scared. Then they reached out to the public again. And somebody said something about a blue and white bike. And then the neighbor of the dude who owned the blue and white bike came forward and was like, you know what, that sounds like my neighbor. But you know, I ain't seen that bike since XYZ, and that just so happened lined up around the time that April was unalive. So then they read the background on this address and found out that him and his dad had the same name and they lived together along with his wife and his child. His dad had to register for a sexual offender forever, and he had charges of robbery and XYZ. So they decided to get a warrant to go up in the house to see if they could find the bike or the shoes worn, because the shoes prints was found on April. They were not able to find the shoes or the bike, but they were able to find DRUGS's on the premises. So that's what they charged them for. But, you know, they were still solid. They were still solid on this, that they found the right guy. And they kept on probing and poking along. And then they got a hold of his internet history. And they came across something saying like, why won't young girls talk to me? Why don't they like me? And then they got their motive. So what the police think happened is he approached April. She declined him and he got mad and he attacked her. Now, he started going to court and things like that, and his defense was like, well, there wasn't no DNA and there's no proof or anything tying him to the body. True enough, there wasn't. But it was also argued if he had on one of those biker suits that it wouldn't be. And then his wife came forward and was like, you know, on that night, he came home around 9:30. And I seen him sanitizing his helmet. And you know what? It was clumps of hair that just was not like mine or his, or nobody's in the house. They kind of looked like hers. So, he was sentenced. And if I'm not mistaken, he's doing life right now. He's doing life. Now, he's tried to appeal this conviction like multiple times, but they not trying to hear that shit. If it's up, then it's stuck. And his other family members have been trying to say he's innocent, and they've been standing by that, but it was just too many witnesses. Yeah, so just imagine you thinking that you buying something for fashion reasons or just because it's finding useful and it helps solve your unaliving. And it's crazy how they was able to break down like everything, like her last everything, her panic, her everything. You can see like her getting away, everything. Like, I just started doing this, like, series or whatever. And I think this has to be, like, so sad. Because, like, honestly, you had something to track that young girl's terror. Like, in any other instance, you just kind of get a feeling, but you don't really know. But in this case, you know, because of how that Fitbit tracked it. It was there to track it. Dude deserved every bit, and if not more, time. I'm surprised he didn't get more than that. So yeah, I hope you don't never get out.
And running for her life. New images shown in court today reveal how April Millsap tried to escape her killer. Topping our news tonight at 6, the heartbreaking attempt by a 14-year-old girl to save her own life.
Oh, this is so sad. April Millsap was beaten and stomped to death on the Macomb Orchard Trail in Armada in July of 2014. 34-year-old James Van Callis is charged with her murder. Jason Colthorpe is Latin Clements denied, but the jury today was able to see just where Millsap took her final steps. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening, Carmen, Devin. And the way they were able to see that was an FBI investigator who went into the cell phone once they recovered her cell phone, and she had a workout app on her phone, and she was using it at the time of her attack. They used that plus the cell phone data to come up with a map and be able to track her final hour. An FBI investigator who examined April Millsap's phone was able to pinpoint every step of her final 63 minutes for the jury. The recreation using both her cell phone data and data from a workout app shows her traveling at about 3.6 miles an hour through town. Then the Orchard Trail. Just before doubling back, the track zigzags in a circular fashion.
That's the path that was taken as reported by the GPS.
Then at 6:28, the investigator testified April sent a text to her boyfriend reading, "I think I almost got kidnapped, OMFG." 3 minutes later, another zigzag pattern and 3 outgoing calls made at 6:31, 6:32, and 6:33. The calls were pinpointed to the area where her body was found.
Based on the time that the call was placed at that GPS location.
After 15 minutes at that spot, the final track shows her phone leaving the area at a speed of 22 to 34 miles an hour before ending at the spot where police found April's belongings. It's important to point out that as elaborate as that final tracking was of just the route April took through town, through the trail and back before she was attacked, not once was evidence introduced today, at least, placing James Van Callis at the scene or anywhere in the vicinity. Live in Mount Clemens tonight, Jason Coulter, Local 4.
You know, so have they introduced any evidence against the defendant, Jason?
Carmen, they did go over his initial questioning and talking about how they came to acquire him as a suspect when it was spotted his dirt bike at a house, which matched a tip that came in. They also, when the MSP investigator who testified said he refused a written statement, and he also became irate later on the phone with him saying this is just a witch hunt. Carmen?
All right, our Jason Coulter reporting for us.